Diablo 4 just around the corner. I wanted to take a look back at one of the most iconic features of Diablo 3 Launch Edition, and that's got to be the real money auction house. Something that was both revolutionary and quite controversial at the time. The real money auction house allowed players to buy and sell in-game items for real-world money. Something that was quite ahead of its time, because this is way before any blockchain shenanigans. While other games existed that had ways to earn real-world dollars in game, they almost universally featured systems where first you had to put in a lot of money. You buy in-game stuff with real money, and then through various ways you can maybe make more money out. More often than not, just losing everything you put in. Some similar games was like Entropia. I played quite a bit of that at the time. That's a rabbit hole I'm not going to delve into in this video. Brings back memories of recalling standing in line at a cartel waiting for oil. You step out of line, they shoot you in the head, and next in line comes up. I had a lot of fun with that, but that's a whole nother story there. But this wasn't just some unheard of company. This was Blizzard. At the time, Blizzard had a very high public favorability. They hadn't had all these controversies coming out. They had World of Warcraft. They had Diablo 2, these absolute bangers that people loved. And this was a game you bought once. No battle passes, no subscriptions, no pay to win yet. The real money auction house in my friend group was something that was a thing of excitement. A bunch of broke college students skipping class to play video games. And now we had the chance to sell in-game items and earn cold hard cash. Sign me up. And in fact, we did utilize it. Personally, I cashed out very little, probably less than $20. In fact, I've got like 49 cents in my Blizzard account that's from Diablo 3 Auction House. That's just a reminder every time I look at my Blizzard account of what used to be there. I spent most of the earnings I did make not cashing out. I bought gold in game. At the time, a gym upgrading was brutal. It was expensive and hard to get gold in game at the time. And add the fact I'm not that great at video games, my repair cost was nutty. But one of the coolest things that did happen is I had a friend who cashed out around like $200 from selling a pair of boots. And at the time, that was insane to us. We were stoked that he made that much money from a video game. It was insane. And in fact, he went out and bought everybody McDoubles that day. And till this day, that's one of the hypest moments I can recall from college. Eating McDoubles earned from a video game. Till this day, I've never had a McDouble that tasted so good. But honestly, that touches on the core issue that I think a lot of people had with Diablo 3, is the game was absolutely brutal. In fact, if you wanted to clear hell mode, you needed either a fat wallet or to be a wizard and abuse the short-lived bug where he couldn't die. And honestly, that made the game seem like it was made unfairly hard to encourage the use of the real money auction house. Not only was the game very hard starting in Act 2, drops were exceedingly rare. Like, I beat the game my first playthrough with maybe 2 uniques, and that was probably the high end from my friend group. Like, if you didn't extensively use the auction house, you were not getting very far. Blizzard at the time claimed they did not make the game unfair to drive people to auction house, but optics-wise, that's exactly what it looked like. Still, though, I have a lot of fond memories playing D3, grinding for gear with the chance that something big might drop and I could sell it for real money. A big part of why I like games like Diablo and Path of Exile is doing the content that has a chance to drop those god tier uniques or that really good rolled rare. Something that modern Diablo just does not have for me. And that's why I play games like Path of Exile. The ability to trade is a big part of why I like games like this. Because once D3 got rid of not only the auction house, but removed the ability to trade outright unless someone was in your party, like, it just made the drops feel unimportant as a whole. Sure, you could get something that you could use, but more often than not, you were just disenchanting it for materials, and it's just not as fun, in my opinion. I get it. RMT has a number of issues. Honestly, in my opinion, it's not the buying of power that's the problem. A lot of games let you buy power. You get the WoW token, you play Lost Ark, and you buy gems. Pay to win exists, fine without much of an issue. It's not that buying of power that's the real issue. It's the fact that people can make money by selling that power. People get greedy. Maybe one guy farming all day for $5 an hour. That's not a big deal. It's one dude, fine. Even if a bunch of people play the game legitimately and they farm and they make a little bit of money, that's not going to be the problem. It's that one dude making $5 an hour. He thinks, wait a minute, I multi-box 5 accounts. Now I'm making $25 an hour. But wait, why am I even playing these accounts myself? I'll just get a bot and run this bot, and I'll be playing 24/7. I'll be making a lot of money. And then maybe he thinks, well, why am I dealing with my bots dying all the time? I'll just use hacks, and now they're invincible. I'm gonna be rich. And that's the real issue with RMT. Is it really encourages people to play unfairly, and that's what causes problems in the game. And it's not just one guy abusing it that way. There's hundreds of people. There's whole businesses that do this, and it just gets out of hand quickly. You end up with bloated fake accounts, and the economy's in crumbles. RMT spammers are spamming in chat, hey, visit my website for cheap gold. It gets annoying fast, and it does ruin games. I totally understand that. And to my knowledge, from what I saw, D3 didn't really have any of this, but honestly, the auction house wasn't around long enough to really have these kind of issues. They got rid of it fairly quickly. Had it kept around, it absolutely would have ran into the same problems modern games have with trying to combat RMT. And I get it. The guys doing this RMT a lot of times are from poor countries, and that's how they're sustaining themselves. So, I don't hate them for it. If I was in his shoes, I'd do the same thing. But, also in the same boat, I hope he gets banned and he starves. It's just the way it is. It had its issues. I mean, how can you look at a leaderboard and respect the guy in number 1 when you think, man, forget that guy. He's just got a fat wallet. He's not good at the game. He's just got money. But personally, I had the most fun with D3 when it had the real money auction house. Primarily because I love trading. That's why I play the game. That makes the drops just that much better to get. Trading with other players just makes that big item you drop just feel so much better because you think, man, I can even give this to a buddy, or I can sell it for what I really want. Disenchanting it for something you want just doesn't have the same feel to it. I mean, even thinking back to Diablo 2 that recently re-released, I had a ton of fun with that. And I was using forums to try and set up trades because I was playing on my Switch. I feel like I was back in high school again. And honestly, I think Path of Exile does this the best. They have their trade league, and then they have their solo self-found league. And then, their hardcore versions of both. And I think that's really the way it always needs to be. But, if people can trade, they're going to RMT. You can't stop people from RMTing. It's going to happen. No matter what you do, if you can trade in the game, people are going to RMT. So I get the hate. But the real money auction house of Diablo 3 is something I still look back fondly on. I mean, I loved it while it lasted. I had a ton of fun with D3 when it came out. I don't expect Blizzard to ever implement such a system again, but I can't stop myself from thinking, what if? What if it stayed? Would I be playing more Diablo than I am Path of Exile? Who knows? Thanks for watching. Tell me your experiences in the comments. Did you get to buy McDoubles, or did you have to mortgage your house because you spent it all on gold? Let me know. Y'all have a good one.